Mr. Satish Jamdar is joining us for now. He's Managing Director with Blue Star Limited on a phone line. Thank you very much, Mr. Jamdar. Appreciate you joining us. Blue Star reported numbers which were strong. I mean, revenues were up about 8% or so year on year. Margins went up a little bit, about 10 basis points or so. They came in at about 7.2%. Mr. Jamdar, could you talk to us about what was volume growth like and what happened to pricing in the quarter?
This time we saw the room AC business, which is more consumer-led, little slower than what the industry expected. I'm talking the market and the industry right now. Last year there was a growth of 15%. This year the whole industry expected around that. Of course, there was at the beginning of the year some concerns with the monsoon. There was a unseasonal rain which destroyed some crop. So there was some negative, but still there was a feeling that things would go well. But as I see that whatever reports I got now end of the summer season is just about below 5% is what I understand. Of course, Blue Star has grown. You can see our cooling products have grown 17%. We have actually increased our market share. But overall, I think there was a muted reaction to the growth expectation. It meant that there was some price cutting because people had stocks, and to some extent the margins were under pressure. But we managed to do well in spite of that. On the other side, which is our segment 1, the story continues that infrastructure, capex, industrial investments and construction, commercial construction, we are not still seeing any great growth yet. A few signs of positive inputs here and there, but no great revival yet. And we're looking for that to happen. So we've always been careful of segment 1, not so much focus on top line as much as bottom line and cash flow, which we have maintained, and we've done reasonably well there compared to what we thought otherwise would happen. So. And by the way, segment 3 has been a great performer this quarter. You'll have to look at in the notes. We try to explain that if you remember last year, we did a restructuring on 1st of April. The electronics business, we moved into a 100% subsidiary, essentially to give it focus. It's a different kind of business. And I would say that move has paid off brilliantly for us. There's actually, if you combine last year in both the companies, because part of it was executed in Blue Star and the other in the subsidiary, we're looking at a 60 to 70% growth on top and bottom line. That has been the real performer for this quarter for us.
Right. No, so you're talking about the electromechanical projects business?
The electronic.
Electronics. Okay. No, so that's
electronics and industrial system is just in segment 3. A part of it moved into our 100% subsidiary, so it's not a like-to-like comparison. I'm just trying to explain. If you combine it together, the one business, then that's been the growth.
Yeah. Okay.
It's not Blue Star accounts.
Sure. Okay. But the room AC is about last we spoke, you said was about 40% of your overall revenues, right? I mean, AC revenues.
It's been the growing part of the market for air conditioners because the penetration has been moving into tier 4 and 5 towns, and that has been the growth story for us also for last 3-4 years. We also entered retail business about 3 years back, which is why this segment has grown for us continuously now. And that has grown again. I was just saying that compared to last year, it was slightly slower growth. It still was growth for us. The summer last year extended right up to end of June. This time the rains all over the country actually happened within early June itself or mid of June. So to that extent, the demand fell. Obviously, this is what happens when the summer season goes down. But for us, we are also into the institutional and the commercial segment. So our room AC business continues in the second, third quarter. Fourth quarter, we expect revival again. We're hoping the union budget to perhaps signal some more growth possibilities. And so maybe two more quarters, as usual for us, it's a little light because it's not the season for us.
Mr. Jamdar, I just want to sort of ask you to react to this news flash which is coming in. Now, this is according to Reuters, the newswire agency, which they're saying that the GST panel is likely to recommend a revenue neutral rate of 25%, Mr. Jamdar.
Yeah.
Is this, so if this is 25%, this is, again, sources and Reuters is saying this, we don't have independent confirmation. What is this likely to do to demand overall?
Prashant, my first concern, which we, by the way, discussed yesterday, was I'm getting a little worried whether this GST plan on 1st April is going to happen, given that the monsoon session has more or less done no business so far. And it will be a pity if the whole thing got delayed. So that was one input which I think we are all looking forward to GST happening. Is good for the country and good for the economy. This neutral rate of what you said, 25%, is it?
Yeah, 25%. Yes.
I can't react to it because it will depend on what is the total now as per you, and in the way it is VAT plus service tax plus excise duty. And there is does it include the 1% GST or CST or not? I do not know. I can't. I'm not clear yet what exactly this means.
Okay. Let me just put that question to, if you could hold the line, Mr. Jamdar. Mr. Satya Podar is joining us. He's advisor tax policy with EY. Mr. Podar, I believe our team told you, the reason why we are calling a revenue neutral GST rate of 25% according to Reuters, which is saying that that's what the GST panel will recommend. Of course, that's the only thing that we have, the news flash. We don't know the entire story. But how would you react to this?
No, I don't think it's a starter. It's practically nonsense, if I can say so. I don't expect the GST, if it were to happen, I don't expect the rate to be much above 20%. I know for a fact that the government is seriously considering rates much lower than 20%.
Yeah, no, that's what I mean. The indications were that max it could be about 20% or so, right, Mr. Podar? I mean, on the higher side. And
no, that was simply the wish list, because when the 27 looked very high, all kinds of commentators were really saying, well, the 20 may be better, or 18 may be better, or something else.
27 was I don't know, I don't remember who, but someone basically came out and said, well,
original estimate of the NIPFP, who was advising the Empowered Committee, they had estimated the revenue neutral rate could be in the range of 18 to 34%, and the 27% was the median rate.
Okay. No, so this is
a year and a half ago, and even Empowered Committee was not very comfortable with that rate, and Finance Minister has categorically stated in Lok Sabha as well as few other venues that the rate will be substantially lower than 27%. 25% is not a substantially lower than 27%. So anybody who recommends, I don't think they are clued into political thinking or economic thinking of the government.
Yeah, you don't think this is, I mean, it's going to come at 25, right? Basically, that's what you're saying, right? It's not, it's unlikely it'll be at that rate, Mr. Podar, right?
The GST will not happen at 25%.
Mr. Jamdar, you heard Mr. Podar there, any thoughts?
I wanted to add.
So this is,
25%,
yeah, go on.
Looks like it's higher than expected. I do not know whether 1% CST is included or not in that, because that was another item which was kept aside. More important is, with the government's plan for Make in India, etc., we have to be careful and be clear what is the GST rate for imports and for local manufacturing. That kind of clarity is what I was trying to also get, because that will be a very important dimension of how the Make in India plan works.
Yeah. No, absolutely. So that's that. Mr. Podar and Mr. Jamdar, thank you very much. We'll get more details on this. By the way, that 1%, there's, I think, a line here in the report by Reuters. They're saying that the panel is going to recommend 1% additional tax for about 2 years or so. That's what the news flash is saying. So in case that helps, Mr. Jamdar and Mr. Poddar, thank you again. Appreciate it. Let's take a quick break here. We'll come back in 2 minutes.